More breaking NBA news. Jalen Brunson intends to sign a 4-year deal with the Knicks worth a little over $100 million, somewhere between 105 and 110, according to reports, as first reported by The Athletic. Brunson, coming off a career year with the Mavs, averaged over 16 points and 5 assists a game. Now, the deal won't become official until 6 p.m. today. That's when the new league year and free agency officially begins. Let's bring in our NBA insider. Bill Reiter is joining us here. Bill, we knew the Knicks had the second most money to spend in free agency of all the teams in the NBA, the most of any big market team. What kind of a boon is this for a team that really fell off this last season?
Yeah, I think it remains an open question. Certainly, obviously, Chris, the Knicks are excited, and talking to some folks around the NBA. To be fair, you can find some voices, some important people in front offices who like the move. But I was just talking to another source a few minutes ago about the Kevin Durant news, and we talked about Jalen Brunson and the expectation he would go to the Knicks just before the news got confirmed. And he said, reiterated what I heard from other people and what's my personal view, that while he's a nice player, this is a very unproven player, does not have a track record of great success. And it's hard to see any organization, particularly the Knicks with their history, believing Jalen Brunson suddenly turns them into any kind of major success story long term.
Got a note from our researcher, Justin Page, who says that Brunson averaged 16 points on 50% shooting last season, and the only guards in Knicks history to do that. A couple of guys that are Hall of Famers there with the Knicks, Earl Monroe and Walt Frazier did it as well. But the question still remains, can he do this night in and night out? What else do the Knicks have to do in free agency, and how much more money will they have to spend?
Yeah, so there's not going to be a lot of money to spend right now. They were able to create a lot of space with some of their moves. Kemba Walker was a big one, sending him on and getting that $9 million off of their books. But presumably, and to be fair to the Knicks, Leon Rose runs basketball operations, has had that job for a few years now, formerly ran CAA as an agent, their basketball operation. I think probably this is, Chris, a long-term plan, that Brunson is the first piece, the first or second best player in their view on a roster and a team that will compete in 2 or 3 years. I know Knicks fans aren't very patient. Spent a couple of years living in New York City. There's not a lot that they're going to be able to do in this particular free agency class. This is it. This is the move. And if you are of the view that this is a great player and he is young and a future great player, it's the first building block. And what's going to take a couple seasons and a couple free agency classes and frankly some good drafts to build a winner in New York City, where obviously it's been a long time since they've been consistently competitive.
What more do you think we need to see from Jalen Brunson to warrant this kind of contract?
I mean, I understand that if you're an organization like the New York Knicks that has not been able to attract talent and you just got spurned not that long ago by Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant, you got to take a risk. For me, all the things we saw, Chris, I think were really encouraging and really promising. It's just a really small sample size. And it's a guy who was not capable of being the second best player on a championship team when he was standing next to Luka Doncic. Now, maybe that's fit. Certainly people around Brunson will tell you that Luka having the ball in his hands at such a high rate of time, his usage rate being so high, the ball not moving, didn't benefit the way that Brunson played. So I think the answer is more minutes, more consistency. But if what we've seen from him, his efficiency, his ability to score, his moments that were great, and it's not like they were few and far between, but it wasn't every single night. If that's really who he grows into, it's a great signing for the Knicks and probably very valuable at 25 or 28 or $29 million a year. But there's some risk here because they're betting someone on what he can be, and I would argue not necessarily consistently what we've seen from him.
Knicks had some money to spend, and they've already spent some of it, though it won't become official until 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Bill Reiter with us here on HQ as the Knicks have reportedly agreed to a contract with Jalen Brunson, who just had a career year with the Mavericks. 6 o'clock Eastern is when everything can become official, and free agency officially begins with the new league year. We're a week away from the Vegas Summer League.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.